We're streaming? Whoa. Man, I wasn't paying attention. And then all of a sudden we're streaming. So brutal how you can. I think learning to play guitar is like learning to trade. When you have it on the paper trader, you're just fern making money, and then as soon as you turn on the real money side of the trading, all of a sudden you can't do a fucking thing right. That's how I play my leads. Alone, shredding around. We bring it in with a little reggae today, as everybody's working for the weekend. Matt, everybody's working for the weekend. Wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we?
The long weekend.
Another long weekend to start the year off. You know, it's very inspired by the French, right? The French have basically a holiday every month, a federal holiday. I know they've lobbied long and hard for the 30-hour work week and the 4-day work week forever there. I'm not sure how that works out long time for them. Anywho, happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday, Bob.
Yeah, it is Market Vitals, and we are brought to you by Manja TV, Matt. And what do you got planned for the kitchen? What do you got planned cooking for the weekend?
Nothing. I'm going to be fasting come Saturday, so I have a procedure on Monday.
Well, we are. See how quickly I can jump to the Manja kitchen, Matt. I mean, it's unreal.
I'll be watching you create things and.
Well, the first thing we have to learn that we're going to talk about today is cooking documents. And we're going to go to Dr. Jill with this recipe on how you cook classified documents. It's pretty easy, Matt. You put them on a gas burning stove, and then you let a little bit of the flames leak over. If they can leak over, you can start the whole classified burning document. And it's pretty easy. You got to shuffle a little bit. You might want to turn on or turn off the smoke detector. I don't know. What do you think? What are your thoughts on Dr. Jill and her recipe?
I think she's. I mean, the whole thing is just stinky, right? It just feels like. I mean, again, if they've had, first of all, they've had all this information since before the election. They didn't come out with it. Now they're trying to pin it on dumb shit Joe because he wants to run.
I thought
because he wants to run again. So it's just they kill their own too. They kill you. They kill me. They kill their own. That's what
the better was.
These scumbags do. That's just what they do.
The department
they could have burned it just like the meme, but they didn't.
They didn't. I like the one that the
things that make you go
things that the Department of Justice pinning it on Trump. I thought that was better.
Yeah.
Trump did it.
It's Trump's fault.
All right, let me share this, Matt, because we're going to talk. We got to talk cocoa, and we got to talk. Hold on, yeah, watch again. Jason Williams, Matt. They called him white chocolate. Hold on, yeah, come on. This guy was so ridiculous. Look at this. White chocolate. Hold on, there's another. Watch this pass. Boop. Where'd that come from? Boop.
Chocolate.
He hit it off his elbow. You see that?
I think he put it off his back.
Threw it up. Jamar Odom, remember him?
Off the shelf.
How about that one? Boop.
Boop.
Behind the head.
Chris Berman.
Oh my God. White chocolate. Oh, the guy was so filthy.
Hey, they just took out the highs of the day on this booze. So
of course
exciting.
they did.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of white chocolate. Matt, let me just go through my likes again. This is what you do when you want to save stuff. You like it, right? When you look at Market Vitals, you retweet it. Super 70 Sports Sharing, the only show that was equally likely to give you a Muhammad Ali fight, a Harlem Globetrotters game, and an Evel Knievel jump. Wild World of Sports. So by the way, R.I.P. Evel Knievel's son.
Robbie.
A lot of people dropping, man. A lot of people dropping.
Yeah, he had a long bout with cancer, so who knows on that one, but it might have been accelerated, that's for sure.
We got the carnivore cure food pyramid, Matt. Not like the USDA's recommendations. This one very meat centric. And I asked Manja TV, like, how many of these things can you rub? And basically all of it. All of this food pyramid you could rub.
Right.
Anyway.
Rub them all. Rub them all.
Let's have some fun with some of the gifts around, Joe. You see this one? Oh,
Yeah,
this is
that's a good one,
fantastic.
Yeah. I love how the boxes are actually crunching as he's
Yeah, and there's actually on the audio, you can actually hear them crunch. It's fantastic. I mean, this is well done.
It is well done.
And this is what saves us, right? Because we are a cynical society and we like humor. And at some point, humor does this. It just shows you that you're ridiculous.
Yeah,
and then this,
go ahead.
This one was equally as good. He's talking about how secure. He's talking about how secure his garage was.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's just it's unbelievable.
I mean, at some point when your position
but again, if you admit to the illegality of it, that makes it okay.
Oh, I love it.
Forget that it is still illegal to have confidential documents as a vice president. But if you admit it, it's okay.
Wow.
Everything will be fine. Oh, and breaking news, just because everything is so upside down. Lisa Marie dies suddenly yesterday. Jamie Lee Curtis today has COVID. So go get a shot. Go get a shot.
Please. All right, man, we got to talk price. We're a trading show after all. WASDE came out yesterday.
What came out?
WASDE, Matt. That is the World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimates. And so for corn, wheat, and beans, it's actually a pretty big report from the USDA. Anyway, you're du jour on corn, wheat, or beans. We won't cover all three of them. Let's cover one. And tell me what you think. Tell me what you think for all of our grain traders.
Well, let's look at the beans and just give me a minute. The computer seems to be on holiday still, I should say. Still on holiday.
It hasn't got back from Christmas break yet. Yet.
Nobody has really. The volumes are weak. The effort is weak. Beans up 12, almost 1% today. 15.32. Double top in action here. Middle of the day.
Sold.
Middle of the day. It's been going up all year. All assets are one, remember. So we know everything's up. So why wouldn't the beans and everything else be up? So yeah, it's coming to test that Christmas high that we had, which was right here around 15.37. We got close to it today. I don't know. Again, looks bullish on the shorter time frames, but has been going up for quite some time. But if you could pick it up at 1400, I guess from here at 1530, might be a good trade there. But it's been running for a while as we pull back. This area is kind of interesting. Right here, 1580 might be a better sell area. But I don't know. Just doesn't look that exciting to me one way or the other. Pass.
Especially now. Pass. I mean, you do have planting intentions and things like that sway markets between beans and corn. The wheat's already pretty much established on how much is going to get planted. Wheat is one of those things that is harvested somewhere on the planet pretty much every month of the year. So it's a little bit different on the flows. anyway, I just don't see enough to push that through those highs from late last year.
Yeah.
Personal opinion. All right, Matt.
Again, I just pretty much avoid it one way or the other. There's better things to spend your time on and your money.
Personal opinion again.
Personal
All right,
opinion.
Matt, speaking of one of those things, Heinrich Leopold, dude, this guy he should win the Nobel Prize on economics for his sharing of natural gas market inputs, which is the cold air that's collected in the North Pole and it is now starting to distribute. I mean, he just tweeted 9 minutes ago that it's official cold air sweeping into Europe by next week. Not yet the big cold. Good start. London will be around zero. Vortex is not yet disintegrated. It becomes gradually weaker. And as that gets weaker, more cold air can flood the continents. We talk all the time about commodities being a timing issue, and Natty on sale again today. Back, I mean, it's
350 again. You know, I'm out of it. I got out when it ran up the couple days ago, as I told you, I had stops in, but I'm watching it. I'm curious how the close is today, but I'm probably not going to touch it one way or the other until next week. This market just feels so weird in a lot of ways. I think you just got to wait for more time and more price action and a lot of these things to play out. But it'll be interesting if they close it under 350 today. Watch out. And that's the official close is here. I think at 11:30 on the West Coast, I believe. But you can confirm that for me. But 342 is the low midweek. So again, like I said, you really got to close below 340. Which could happen, but it's down 4% again here, just hanging around that 355 level. It really hasn't, went up from there today, went from 355, 363 back to 355 here.
Who knows?
It's active. Again, if you want to trade something, this is tradable. It's way more tradable than say the beans as an example, and has been, but I don't know.
Well, I think it's for sure if it's unbelievable how much the market seems to rely on tomorrow's weather rather than 2 weeks from now's weather.
Right.
And in that same kind of thought process.
Yeah, but again, as time goes by, and if these winter events aren't as extreme, I don't know.
Until they are. I mean, that's the whole deal. Like so natural gas demand goes through the roof if it's cold all the way down to Texas. Right. But if it doesn't, you're right. It's still, especially if you fractal out as we have before, there's plenty of room down to maybe 280 in that thing.
Right. And isn't it funny? Like I've heard a number of locals in the last week tell me how their heating bills have doubled. Right. So again, lagging because the heating bills have doubled, but the prices are half off in the last month. So it just shows you how effed up like governmental controlled, regulated industries like natural gas are, right? So they jacked up the prices. So but they didn't really need to.
They might have. Wait a second though. They might have had exposure on buying gas when it went to $9. I mean, that's the problem. They have to still buy.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're passing it on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And man, I find it interesting right now that the bonds took out yesterday's high.
Yes.
No,
they didn't. They tested it again today. Yeah, it was a matter of fact. I sold that level yesterday. 143.23 was the high. I was off. It got up to 24 yesterday. I sold 23, rode that down to 141s last night, and then all the way back to 143. And then we're talking the UB here. So again, very good trading lately. And then from it double topped. Let me just bring it in because then it double topped again and again. It just feels to me like,
it double topped the ZB, the 30-year actually made new highs from yesterday. And then gave it away.
I wasn't looking at that, but this
just like the
pinged it, and they ran it and they totally squeezed it after hours, right? So I was like selling into that. I'm like, oh, this is like the spot to sell because they're just running stops. They ran, and this is the game in futures. Like again, it's hard to explain this to people. It just felt like, oh, this was a stupid move to begin with. Oh, let's take it up a little higher. Everybody got run out. No more buyers. Whoosh. They took it all the way down here to 141.26. That's $2. and then zoomed right back because these people didn't get a chance to sell it here. So they're like, let's get it back there so we can sell it again. Let's test it again.
Well, there was for sure a buy program in the equities right on the 8:30 bell.
Yes, there was.
But we haven't given it back like the rates have.
No, but it's early. Remember, these start trading an hour before, so the bonds are ahead of the game. And so these kind of peaked at 7:30, which I guess would parlay to about 8:30. But yeah, like you said, we've just kind of tipped over and headed, and matter of fact, took out the not the intraday. We didn't take out the overnight high, but we took out the day high just a moment ago in the SPOOs. But again, the range is like 15 points wide all day. It's basically 85 to 4,000. That's where we've been. And to me, that's not a tradable market. So I'm done. I'm done for the weekend. There's really not much, unless you want to just sell it right here. And if you think it's going to pull back to some middle ground, but the SPOOs, took out the highs here. They ran all the stops, which didn't really get too much more buying so far. But again, this is thick up. It's really thick up to like 4,010. And yesterday's high was 4,021. So we're not going anywhere. It's a dead bouncing ball. It's rolled out, and you're not going to, unless something hits that nobody's expecting. I wouldn't expect too much action on this one way or the other. Just call it a day.
He says call it a day. He says call it a day.
Call it a week. Call it the holiday.
All right, let's talk football. We got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night. I don't remember them having a Monday night playoff game.
Well, it's because they have, so many games. There's 6 games now, and they got to broadcast them all, and they got to,
especially when you're getting 30 million a game.
Especially when you're getting 2.7 billion for the season. So you're the only thing on TV. They want to
wait a second. I just thought of something. That's funny that you say that, and why people don't understand. When you're getting 2.7 billion, you put a lot more of it out there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like the jab companies, right? When you get $100 billion for your product, you put as much of it out there as you can.
Right.
I did see too, Matt, a serious pushback coming from the general public as 2 years in a row now, child vaccine levels have gone down. Now, I don't know what that means, because there's nothing around to show you that. Because when you look at the vaccine schedule, it's 30 deep, right? When you and I were a kid, there was 4 vaccines that we got, right?
Yeah.
And now there's like
measles,
30.
Mumps, measles, mumps, TB, and tetanus.
Polio.
Tetanus. Yeah.
And now, so it's like, I don't know what that means. Are people saying, listen, I don't want, I'll get the schedule of 5. I'm not getting the schedule of 30. Anyway, that's off subject. I just thought it interesting that, there's a whole lot of pushback, and the unintended consequences of pushing this one so hard when it seems to be failing is that nobody wants any of your offering. All right, let's talk football. Come on.
Let's talk football. So again, I like the Seahawks, but they were -10. So I said, wait until the end of the week. We're going to take the Seahawks +9.5 now. We're taking.
I gotta say, I will bet you that. Because your heart you're leaning on this trade. You're leaning.
I'm just saying it's going to be closer than 9.5. Everybody thinks, again, Brock Purdy's a rookie, man. He's never been in the playoffs, even though it's at home. He's got all the benefits. He's got Pete Carroll defense lining up against him. It's not going to be
true. Defense wins championships.
Pete Carroll knows what he's doing in the big games. So I'm just saying, if you're going to make me pick these games, I'm going to pick them. Chargers versus Jags. Who do you like in the rookie second-year quarterback matchup? I'm going to go with the local kid.
What is the line on that?
It's even. I'll go with Justin Herbert.
No, I got to tell you, man. I think the Chargers do what they always do, never advance.
Well, anyway, so I got the Chargers. You got the Jags. We got 2 bets on.
We got 2 already.
We got
our usual bet.
Then I'm taking the Bills because it's -10.5 over the Dolphins, and Tua's out. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, that line should be 15.
Yeah, except it's in Buffalo. And then you got Vikings and Giants. I already said I'm taking the Giants +3 all day against the fucking Vikings. I hate them. You hate them too. So you're probably on the same
All right,
side.
I'm on the same side on those two. Correct.
Nothing to complain about. And then we got the Bengals Ravens. I mean, who do you go? Who do you go for? Burrow should win this game, but again, you got Harbaugh on the other side on the defense, 6.5, and Lamar's not playing. That seems like a sucker line. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
You're fading. You're simply saying that the line doesn't match what you perceive as the
I would think it
fundamentals
would be
of the
more.
game.
I mean, I would think it would be more like 8-9. You know,
Right on.
over a
Yeah,
touchdown. So, and then the Cowboys Buccaneers. I mean, I'll take Tommy minus or getting the points at home. Why not? Why not?
And no team in recent history has disappointed more than the Cowboys in the
Right.
playoffs. I
Right.
mean, it's unbelievable. All right.
So-
I like all. We only got two bets then.
We got
only
the
two
Saturday bets. So you're coming over Saturday. We're cooking up some food because that's the last day I can eat on the weekend. So we'll
All
make
right,
some.
I'm going to bring over.
Maybe we'll make some chicken wraps this time.
No. I'm going to bring over the Iberico pork because there's so much fat in that pork. When you hit the griddle with a hot griddle with protein that's got a lot of fat in it, it's like nothing else. Lee, this is one thing that the umami of fat, animal fat in a hot skillet or a hot flat top grill, it's just it's something to behold. Like the cavemen loved it, and I love it. Thank you, cavemen, for doing that. You know, that was my.
Did you ever see what was that play that was out there? The Diary of a Caveman or whatever. That was a one-man monologue. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did see it, and
That was actually well written. Whoever came up with that,
What was
did that whole thing
defending the caveman.
That's what it was. Defending the caveman. I enjoyed that. They should bring that back in the world's environment today.
It's I did notice too, Matt. Like Tom Hanks, his new movie, he's trying to push back on the ridiculousness.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's basically a Disney version of a pushback because the pushback should be way more vocal. Right. And as far as I'm concerned, I could be wrong. Matt, I was thinking about this. I watched this terrible movie last night. It was called Kill the Irishman. And it had some big names in it. It had Christopher Walken. It had God, I can't remember Val Kilmer. 2011. Kill the Irishman, and it was about Danny Green. He was a Cleveland Irishman that became president of the dock union, right? And then he got in a little bit of trouble there, but it was a terrible movie, terribly done, but it was factually, I think, pretty correct. And it's amazing how
it got about a D on the Rotten Tomatoes. So
it's amazing to me, like the narrative and how different the world was in 1976 when this played out.
Right.
And like it's talking about organized crime, Matt. In 1976 in Cleveland, there were 36 car bombs.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. I was too young to remember that. I wonder how many were there in Detroit. It had to be similar in Detroit.
It was like all over the country. We were blowing people up with car bombs. Like that was the way to do it. Like,
well, but they were also doing that in Ireland and the UK with the IRA then. So that was the whole.
Yeah, they had the whole bomb thing down pat. They blew this guy's house up and he lived.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. It just goes to show you. And I just saw another one. 2022 had the least amount of catastrophic weather like in a long time. Like there was no catastrophic weather basically
in 2022.
Yeah, yet you read the headlines and you think the world's just about to come to an end with the violence.
Well, again, if it helps to promote the the climate change tax policy, then by all means, Santa Barbara's. I mean,
Matt, I want to sell.
Did you see the videos of Santa Barbara? I mean, the poor rich people that are there right now, like Ellen. I mean, did you see the creek behind her house? Wow.
And how Mother Nature was mad at the world.
She was like, "Oh, the creek." I'm like, "Yeah, it looks like it's definitely high."
Wait till the poles shift, Ellen. You want to talk about Mother Nature being mad? I mean, unreal. It's
Goldman Sachs is laying off another 1,000. They had said 3,000 this week. Now people are saying it's going to be 4. Any thoughts on that, Bob?
Well, my thought is that the earnings season has started today, right? And I know.
Yeah, we had Bank of America with good earnings. And
right, the banks look like they're going to be okay.
Yeah, well, another quarter, which means everything else should be fine. I don't see why,
Right.
I think the banks would be leading. Yeah, and Bank of America is at the high of the day here. It initially dipped down to 33.10 all the way up here to high of the day as we speak. So yeah, this market right now, again, I'm going to say this, it feels like it has a bid, but it feels so dangerous to be long right now after the rally that we've just had. We finally had the Christmas rally at the end of the Christmas season. And I always say the Christmas season ends on MLK Day. So, and the Christmas season starts before Thanksgiving. So that 6-week boom is almost done. And we've been going up for a while. Yes, we have earnings. I don't know. To me, I just don't see us taking out 4,200 on the S&Ps. We could get up to that. We can get up to 4,200, but there would have to be a pretty big shock here. And again, I think I'm going to say, don't stay too long in your longs if you've been long for a while. I think this is time to start getting rid of them and starting to build your short in various names. I do believe.
And a moderately good earnings season. Again, we've talked about this for how long now? For probably 6-8 months now.
Yeah.
It looks like there's going to be bad news, but it still really hasn't shown up. It hasn't shown, other than inflation. It hasn't shown up.
Again, look at JP is at a fresh new high on this move here, right? 143. Looks, what was this high here in March? I mean, this is going back to March of 22. And we're almost back to the top of that range here, which we talked about, 152 when we were talking earlier in the week. This is like 152 to 160 is really where I want to be, putting my short on. So again, buy 160 puts, whether it's here, 152 or 160, it's your choice. But kind of that 160 level to me looks like, I don't think we're going to get there.
Right on. Why don't you, I know we shared Goldman yesterday or 2 days ago. We didn't stream yesterday.
Yeah, Goldman, again, it's up today on laying off more people, and it had been higher up to 385 or so. So again, that would kind of be a level for me if you can get back. This is really fat. And again, this is a lot of time, 428 down here to, what did we get to, like 270 in the summer, and from the summer. So again, this has really been a 6-month rally. Really, the market bottomed for sure. The S&P, everything bottomed in June at that 3,500 level. And we're sitting here at 4,000. So we've had a heck of a rally the last 6 months is the way you have to look at it. Now's not the time to be chasing that, I don't think.
Right on. Right on. All right. What else? Anything else? I'm a little bored. I'm churning on the board.
The Red Wings beat the Maple Leafs last night for the first time in the regular season without an overtime. Regular game, regular season since 2017. They're still out of the playoffs again this year, but they're above 500. So I'm holding out hope because, Toronto's a good team. Toronto's a good team.
And that's original 6. Those were always the best games to go to. Original.
And it was in Detroit, and they were, they should have put the game away early, and it ended up, 4-1, but it should have been more like over 5-1 in the second period, but they just couldn't pop in some junk goals. The goalie was standing on his head, which is, and we're at the halfway point, by the way, and the hockey and NBA, basically, we're right at that 40 game plus or minus for all the teams. So we got a good idea of who's doing what, but I'm holding out hope that the Red Wings finally get back into the playoffs this year, but they're not there yet. There's still like 2 teams on the edge. So
right on.
But I'm excited about it. Because Michigan basketball is over. We lost again last night. We're miserable. Juwan Howard, not a good coach.
Are they wearing masks in Michigan, man? I thought I saw that. But
no, they were. I think the public schools was talking about bringing them back, but I don't think the university was yet.
All right, Matt. That's all I got. I will see you tomorrow for NFL football. And Lee, by the way, you're right. Butter is the butter in the hot skillet. Now, very tricky butter, right? Because it can burn. It can burn. But Lee, the shrimp mojo on tempeh with a little brown sugar added to it on tempeh in a skillet with butter, forget about it.
We wanted to talk a little bit about coffee, and as you
Yeah.
recall,
When did we talk about it? 2 weeks ago when Goldman
Yeah.
said they're taking the coffee perk away from their traders or their
yeah,
office.
and that was somewhere, you know, in here when we were just trying to bounce there at 172, and it rolled right over. So Goldman, thanks for killing the coffee market. We're almost back to a multi-year balance here at 125. That might be an area, you know, that you want to look at it today. It's not a pretty chart. It's really been breaking down for quite some time. And again, looks like 125 looks to be in the cards. I would probably put an alert there for it. And I think you wanted to look also at cocoa, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. White chocolate. Jason
Since we were
Williams.
talking about white chocolate.
Yeah, one of the greatest passers in NBA history. The kid
And
really was.
this has been, you know, on a quite an uptrend here. But again, getting to the top of that bracket again, 22 to 29. That's kind of where this thing thickly lands itself. Not an easy thing to trade, cocoa, but it's pretty choppy as always.
Well, it's, you know, if you're patient, those are fairly good sine waves year over year.
Totally.
All right, Matt, last one that I'm going to share. I got to do it here. I can do it. No, I got to do this. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. We're about halfway through the roll cycle in the hogs, right? Rolling Feb to April. And I talked about the June-July spread, summer month spread. And because of the roll cycle, I said, you got to put this thing on and somewhere between $1.50 and $2. Let me share it because they blew it out to 2.25. Oh, here we go. 2.25. They blew this spread out to. And that looks to be subsiding. All right. Now this is a function of the Goldman roll, of the Rogers roll, these indexes of commodities, the commodity index funds, and they have to hold certain things. They hold cocoa, they hold coffee, they hold beans and corn, and they hold cattle and hogs. And they, you know, so it's a commodity complex that they actually hold the commodity contracts of, and then they roll them. So now you got a lot of players that are in these markets that a lot of novices don't think about. Like, well, why would I own hogs? Well, if you were a producer or if you sold hogs retail, maybe you want protection on hog prices rising. That's another story.
If you were Kevin Costner in Yellowstone.
Exactly. You know, there's lots of reasons.
Break it down for people. Come on.
There's a lot of reasons why you want to participate, or why somebody would want to participate. And once you start to explain to people that there are a lot of reasons, it becomes, who cares why? You just know that there's a lot of people participating. Anyway, the function of this roll, it gets like this just about every year, where there's more demand for July than June as this roll cycle happens. And the price shouldn't be that different for those summer month hogs. All right. So to have a $2, $2.25 price differential is ridiculous. All right. And so this will, just because of the function, now that the roll is over, you'll see the spread move all the way back to even money, and it can even go $2 over. Believe me, if the complex catches a bid, and it's been getting schmeezed lately, the outrights, if it can bottom out, find a bottom and catch a bid, there's going to be more people running into April and June than there are in July. And that's going to cause this spread to come right back to even money, maybe go $2 over. Just a function of how the market works and the participants and the roll. Anyway, it's a great one to have on, and this was the area that you need to put it on here. Now, if we can get it closed back above $1.50, look out next week, as this thing will revert, and it'll revert quickly. Anyway, that's what I got on the WASD and roll cycles, and anywho. What else, Matt? Anything else?
Bob, you know, it's quiet. Lisa Marie's leaving. Let's see, her finances revealed she spent $100,000 a month. That's pretty big footprint she's got. Wow. But you know, when the king is your dad,
There was a little bit there, I imagine.
we're used to it.
I imagine.
Sad story. I mean, she's got young children, and one of them had actually committed suicide in 2020, which is never a good thing. So peace and rest in peace to Lisa Marie, because that is it just looked horrible again walking around, had a heart attack, and then died. You know, they didn't have the Buffalo Bills athletic trainer around.
Right.
to
All
help her.
4 of them to work on you, because I mean, you imagine giving CPR for 9 minutes straight.
No.
That's another thing that you got to realize, like that. I think I would have a heart attack just trying to do that.
Well, you're gonna be in good shape for sure doing that. You know, if you're pressing, you know, that's like doing some serious push-ups for 9 minutes, as you said. So again, I just, you know,
The whole thing, Matt. I just saw this
pray
too,
for peace.
that the BBC, the first mainstream media news organization to actually broach the subject on a newscast, that maybe there's something wrong. There can only be hope that more people endeavor to talk about it.
Yes, exactly. Keep talking about it, because that's, people ask, well, why do you want to know about this stuff? Well, don't you want, I mean, again, plenty of people. I know plenty of people now that have taken jabs and are now pissed and angry that they take, that's where we are. We're in that, we went from denial to anger. What are the stages of grief? And
Yeah.
really this is a grief cycle that we're just entering to the bad part, it seems like to me. And it just bums me out. I mean, it bums you out, and we're sick of it. But I think, somewhat it's our job to talk about, what we think is, we don't know the answers, but
we don't. And again, we always try to come back to price discovery, because there's going to be a lot of price discovery around this.
Yeah. And again, I still think price discovery is going to have it that, these Moderna and BioNTech and Pfizer are need to be short sold anytime they rally. Nothing,
Right.
For me, nothing changes.
Yeah, like how does the story get any better ever around this particular thing?
Again, you got to quadruple your prices, but you've lost 90% of the people willing to take it, so that's not going to replace the billions of revenue that you had. So just from a fundamental perspective, you got to question how this works out. Gold, by the way, again today making another new high, 1922, and again could run to 2000. It continues to run. The top of the profile is right around 1960. There's a heavy profile at 1935, so maybe we get there and maybe we stop there, or we get to 1960. Again, we're kind of I'll bring it up because we're kind of finishing off this whole profile, the fat profile, going back to this is a year look. So right up here to 1960s, like the top of the range here on this whole thickness. So again, we say once you enter into it, 80% of the size usually goes, and we've pretty much done it now. So again,
what is that exactly? I'll do the math. What is the low and the high of it?
17, let's call it 1740, 1960. 220 points.
220 times 0.8 is 176 from the low,
which will get you to 1910, which we're above today at 1922. So
all right, right on. So it's fulfilled it. That's a great Galaga, nearly a perfect double. That top one isn't quite as pronounced, but a great area to sell.
Sure looks like it. Again, based on why people are buying gold and also I will point out that the euro has started to quietly roll over.
Bring it up.
It's very subtle, but just quietly today.
You're saying today. Hold on, let me look at it. Let me look at it and see if I have any opinion. Somehow my euro got erased.
We got up there to like 109 yesterday. and today pulled back to, almost a full point, which was a huge, that's the biggest pullback we've seen since back here early January. But again, this is still, it has been trending up. 113 still looks possible to me. I'll just toss it out there that that level up here is a 61.8 also. So why wouldn't we squeeze maybe a little bit more? But again, as you pull back to these different levels, you look at a year long. This is a little bit more than a year long chart. The big area is the big point of control for the last year is right around 113. So I don't see why we couldn't trade up to there. That would be really where I lay into it on the dark side. And the dollar, again, even though it's been getting schmeezed, it's not like it's under 100, right? So it seems to be going down a lot.
In fact, I've had some
The thing
conversations.
that's interesting is it's going down a lot less than the other currencies are, expanding. And I think it's just short squeezes, really. And this whole, again, everybody right now, and again, we have a Fed meeting coming up probably in a couple of weeks. I think it's the end of January, early February. So, this has been laying out for that. But the dollar down here at 102 has really been the low so far, 101.90 or so, and just hanging around here. But again, it gets below 102, it can get down to 100, get down to 96.
Right on, exactly.
Yeah. You're going to trap them all there. But it really does feel, but again, you look at the longer term picture, it still feels like a trap game is being set. This is very bullish from 97 up. So still got a dog dreaming and talking in his sleep here.
Wonder what
Do you hear that?
does Vinny dream about? Oh yeah, I can hear it. Lee, I'm going to tell you silver. No reason why I couldn't go revisit the highs at 24.80. But this looks, the bands are dead flat sideways. So in order to get really excited, it's got to close a week up there, take it out, close the next. You need a couple of weeks of closes.
I want to talk about something that also makes me go like, come on, people. Like, the couple things that have happened here this week, particularly the meme stocks have woken up, and we talked about this, right? Best Buy was probably a buy down there or not Best Buy, Bed Bath and Beyond Meat was down there at $1.20 this week or the end of last week, and that thing. So look at this. Are you seeing my charts?
Hold on one second.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not seeing it.
So AMC has gone, has bounced off of its recent bottom. And again, I think this is a product of everybody thinking the Fed's going to start cutting again. So we're going back to the heyday of 2020, and we're going to the moon, baby. We're cutting rates. This is how the market's acting this week. And I think, you look at Best Buy, you look at AMC. Best Buy went all the way up to $6 this, at the close yesterday, 588. Now it's getting crushed, right? It's getting rolled over today. It's down 20%. So if you don't, and again, if you don't think it's going to go back to zero, you're a fool. The timing on it, who knows? But when these things start, and then GME, I get them all, they all jumble together. GME was up to 20 yesterday, which from its low down here, where was it? Down 15 or so. These are huge moves on what? This is mechanics, right? This is oversold, getting everybody thinking, the wind's at our back. We're going back to these great days. And when this shit starts going, it's near the end.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Dogecoin.
Yeah, and let me show you the chart, because every little bounce is you're barely able to see this bounce now, and people are getting at 20, that's nothing. It was 127. It's not going back there ever.
Where's the point of control? Because that's where it's
zero.
2 cents. let me give you 2 cents for a GME stock.
Technically it's a 150.
Right on.
It's 90%. That is 99% down from here. That's where it's going. Why do we have to drag this out for years?
What would you do? You'd be flipping burgers someplace. I think we should open a taqueria on your porch, to tell you the truth.
I'm telling you, I might as well.
We call them back alley tacos.
Back alley tacos.
And
Get it
serve
going.
them out of the back alley. I
I mean,
love it.
Got to do it.
All right, that's it. Hey, have a great weekend. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please go to amazon.com and buy some shrimp mojo for your family, for you, for your restaurant, for your bar. Listen, man, if you know a bar owner or a restaurateur and they need some help with their Cajun spice, you're not going to do better. That's all there is to it. You're not going to do better than the shrimp mojo. Unless you make it yourself, and hats off to you if you do that, if you spend the time to come up with your own Cajun blend. But if you want something off the shelf, ready to go, that are going to just flavor kick people in the mouth, the shrimp mojo, it's your go-to. It's my go-to and has been
High of the
forever.
day in the NASDAQ. High of the day.
Running them. All right, Matt, have a great weekend. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Mark.
They got to challenge. They got to challenge the week highs. You know, they got to get it done.
All
Get it done.
right.
All right.
Sold. Sold in the new highs.
Well,
Sold.
enjoy your long weekend because there's no reason to
So.
be here. Okay.
All right.